1942, the U.S. government imprisoned 120,000 of its own citizens. 2/3 were born in America. Their crime? Being Japanese.
When I say call all Yahweh Bashim, Mashai Bashim, Rakaka, dash the banners to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Peace and blessing to the elect of the nation of Israel. Now, this was the Japanese being placed into a concentration camp during World War II. And the reason why I'm playing this video here, this video is an example of what's going to happen in World War III. Now, as the video stated, they were placed into concentration camp because of their connection with the Japanese, being of Japanese ancestry. Now, I'm saying that to say this: whenever time there is emergency powers enacted, such as bringing martial law and all, believe it or not, when war is declared, martial law follows, man. And then when martial law follows, stuff like this will happen. Reason being, under emergency powers, you can't have people who potentially can collude or to give information to the enemy, or even sympathize with the enemy. And the reason why I'm saying this right now, because right now, if you check social media, you have a whole lot of people, especially in America, in the West here, who sympathize with Russia, within the Russian and Ukraine conflict. They sympathize with the Iranians, with the Iranian and the Israeli conflict, and all these activities that people do online is being monitored, and being sought through. So in case there is war declared with any one of these nations, and martial law is declared, you can be arrested and be placed into a concentration camp. And we can see over the years that America set up a whole lot of different concentration camps. Some of them makeshift concentration camps. Let's speak about the Walmarts that they converted into some concentration camps. We know about the FEMA coffins. All these things going back in the past. We saw these things setting up in America. And these things are setting up for a crisis. And a war is one such crisis that can bring about martial law and censorship, because Israel really want to get into, the famine of the word, because censorship is a part of, the whole process, and even within that process of censorship, people can actually lose their lives or being in prison for speaking, against what the government is putting out, are not going with the government propaganda, So this is a lesson going into that, and as you can see, there's a conflict being fought on the earth now, but people don't know the seriousness or how far this can go, when it escalate, and that's what's gonna happen, man. It's gonna escalate, and it's gonna bring situations like these to the West where, you're gonna be locked down, and they already practiced the whole lockdown scenario and those things during the demic. In Jamaica now here, the minister basically saying, the energy minister basically saying, we should go back to a COVID style. Shouldn't say that word. We should go back to that pandemic style lockdowns, man, because of the crisis that take place in the Middle East. So they are just suggesting these type of things. So, look out for people to be silenced, man. Yeah? Because this is talking about ancestry now and connection to ancestry, but it can go according to ideology. So people who is against the government narrative, you can be placed in a concentration camp. Yeah? That's what basically is going to happen. As a matter of fact, You know, we can get a precept dealing with such a scenario. You know, never have. So we can. This thing here, I see. There's a 16, I think. Mm. Let me get this here. This is second is just 16 and 72. It say, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. But the point is, they're gonna seize your goods because of rationing. They're gonna take you from your house and they're gonna relocate you. You know, and that's what it is, man. They're gonna relocate you. They're gonna take you from your house. They're gonna take away your food and whatsoever for rationing. You know, because there's gonna be a crisis concerning food. Yeah, and they're gonna be situations where they don't know if you're will collude with the enemy or give away information. You know, so those are scenarios. As a matter of fact, let me play this video.
Ever notice how the truth gets blurry during war? Governments control and shape information. It's not random, it's strategy. First, operational security. Leaks can cost lives, so militaries restrict details about locations, strategies, and timing. Second, public support. Governments highlight victories and minimize setbacks to keep morale high and maintain national unity. Then there's propaganda, crafted messages designed to shape perception, justify military actions, and frame the enemy. In modern warfare, information is a weapon. Governments aren't just fighting on the battlefield, they're fighting for the story people believe.
Okay.
Ever note?
They're fighting for the story people believe. Remember during the demic, you know, that's where the censorship comes in. Yeah, remember that you know, you weren't able to use certain right now we can't use certain words, man. Yeah. Because the government will try to control the narrative, man, and that's what goes on in the times of war, more so than even the demic. You see me? So while this thing gets serious, you know, what you say can end you up in prison or in a concentration camp. Because in this case, you're gonna have martial law, you know, because of the rippling effect of, you know, these countries going to war. Yeah? Because they're gonna be you know, people protesting against the war, you know, people not wanting to go to war, so the government will declare emergency and they will bring about martial law. And all these rules gonna come in, you know what I mean? To basically have control of the war effort. So we're gonna see the famine of the world. So you're gonna see real censorship and people getting into trouble for saying certain things, man. You know, and then and there, you know, the Lord is gonna silence us, man. And you know, we've been telling you people you know, that look, man, the internet shut down, you know, you getting in trouble for speaking. It's coming, man. Don't worry yourself. You say, this is Amos. You're gonna be searching the internet, man, for you know, brothers, man, you know. We'll be speaking these things, you're gonna flash back to your mind that look, we should hear someone talk about them something here, you know. When we can't go on the internet go find them. But guess what? You know, the Lord stopped speaking, you know. So anyway, this is Amos 8 and 11. He said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of a thirst of water, but of hearing the word of the Lord. So even what brothers have to say, because that is anti, you know, establishment. What we basically preach is basically amount to treason, or what do I call that now? You know, because we are saying that Yahushai, you know, is gonna come and take over this kingdom, man, you know, forcibly. You know, so we're basically speaking on behalf of another power apart from the power here. So basically that's gonna amount to be a crime. You know, once you're not with the war effort, or you're not in support of the country that you're in, you know what I mean, you can be, you know, imprisoned for that. You know? So it's a so it's a here, it's a behold, the days come, saith the Lord, you know, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst of water, for water, but of hearing the word of the Lord. So brothers gonna be silenced, man. You know, we're not gonna be able to go on the highway and byway preaching this thing anymore. You know, our videos won't be up. You know, a whole lot of videos gonna be taken down. People who have an alternative, you know, opinion apart from what the state say. You know, you're gonna see how serious things get when war really gets serious, man, and people start to die, and that the war is about to escalate, man. You're all gonna see, you know, going back into World War II. You see what happened, man. This is World War III. It's gonna happen on a bigger, on a wider scale, more dangerous, man. You know that the Nazis control the information over there in Germany when World War II was fighting, just to see him like what you see America be doing, even to the Japanese. You people don't have an idea. You're living free. So the Lord is basically going to silence us, man. That's what's going to happen, man. And you're going to have people, you know, dropping short on information. Scripture speak about even people who are supposed to be in the truth who going to fall short on certain information, man. You know, it speak about the 5 foolish virgins who never bring no oil for them lamp, you know. I can get that too. I can't find it over here. Let's look on it or something. You will see with me. I don't readily have the scriptures them in mind. Virgin oil, stream the lamps. Alright. I'm gonna say we can start here. This is Matthew 25 and let's start from one. It said, then shall the kingdom of heaven be like unto 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom, which is Yahushai. He said, and 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. He said, they that were foolish took their lamp and took no oil with them. He said, but the wise took oil in their vessel with their lamp. While the bridegroom tarried, they slumbered and slept. Yeah, and all and at midnight, Salakia, there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. And that's what we are doing now, man. You know, making that cry. He said, then all these virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our oil had run out. But the wise answered and saying, no, not so, lest there be not enough for us, not enough for us and you, but but go ye rather to them that sell and buy. Let me get that something here. Do not disturb. So like, yeah. It said, but the wise answered, saying, no, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. You know, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom come, and they and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. You know, so a lot of you gonna be shut out, man. You know, you see, when we was bringing out certain prophecies and stuff, man, you basically buck up, man. You find all different type of excuse, you know, not to basically, believe what we were saying, man. You know, you come up with your own thing, just because you want to be opposition against us, man, especially brothers from Great Millstone, especially come on to the MOTB, because the MOTB, in that time, you're gonna be like, what them brothers used to say about the MOTB again? What was it? The chip? I think they heard. Yeah, guess what? That device is gonna be implemented when all these things start to come to pass, man. When the government started to take control of normal life using the military, and guess what? Them chip gonna roll out them devices, man. Yeah, that's what they do in crisis, man. They're gonna roll out them thing here during the crisis. Yeah, so those things are we're about to see. Meanwhile, that war is going on and these things are happening in result of the war. The device is going to be rolled out. You know what I mean? And who took the device when the war is reached to the point where the missiles are fired, then your ass is going to be burnt over here, man. Yeah. So you're going to say, oh, I used to hear them talk about a chip thing. Oh, this thing go again. Oh, But guess what? We're going to be nowhere in sight. Not be out here on the internet forever, man. He's still gonna take down them videos, man. So you could have go up on the internet some more. You're not gonna get none. So train not gonna left you. So you go. So what I would say, Kalalali, our Basham, our Shai Basham, Dash, double and us to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.